Hey everyone, welcome to our 5th Python tutorial, and today we're going to be covering input and output in Python. So this is just a little sneak peek as to what we're going to be doing later in our tutorial. But to start out, let's just get a quick understanding of what exactly input and output are in Python. So as developers and programmers, we often need to interact with the users that use our program, and we need to do this either to get data or provide some sort of result. And today, what Python does is it provides us with a function which will allow us to interact with our users, and that's what we're going to be exploring today. So to allow for input in our programs, we're going to use a function called input. And obviously, if we want to get an answer for information, we need to ask a question first, right? That's how you get an answer. So let's go ahead and start out, and I will just show you guys how to get simple input in Python. Right, so right here you can see in this small program, all we're doing is we're simply asking for our user's name. And with that, next what we're going to do is we're having a variable called name input, which will simply gather whatever input we give. So if you go ahead and run this program, you can see it's asking the question. Right, so if you see this program, you can see it's asking the question, what is your name? And I can simply type in a name, Bob, and that's it, our program ends. So our program is working, right? And it isn't doing anything. So why exactly is that? So it's kind of obvious just from looking at this. We're completing the first step in our whole input and output, but we aren't doing the second, right? We're taking in our input, but we need to give back our output. So to do that, we're just gonna need to print out whatever input our user has given to us. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to do that. Okay, so you can see I simply have a simple print statement, and we're utilizing this input information simply as a variable because that's all it is. We're simply storing our input information into a string variable called name input. So let's go ahead and run this program. Once again, let's say Bob, and it says your name is Bob. That sounds like a really dumb name. So this is kind of a harsh program that can really hurt your feelings, but that is just a quick example of how we can use user input. So there is another way that user input is represented in Python, and I'm going to quickly show you guys how exactly to go about that. And it's a little bit of a quicker and a shorthand way of doing it. So let me begin. Right, so in this program, you see we're skipping this middle step of asking a separate question. We're simply in our input function, we're asking a question and expecting a specific output. So you can see right here, it's simply going to ask our question, enter your favorite animal, and I'll say, So now what this input statement does as opposed to the other is we're eliminating that whole step of asking a question. We can simply ask a question in our input statement, and let's go ahead and print this out, and it will say enter your favorite animal. I will say a penguin, and it'll say, oh cool, you like penguins? My favorite are unicorns. Okay, so that's just another simple way to do user input. So it's a really simple topic, but it does have extremely powerful applications. So let's go ahead and do one of those applications really quickly. Right? So let's just make a simple adder, and I'll go ahead and walk through what this is doing. Okay, so I've completed this simple program where it will sum two values given. And whenever dealing with input and output, it's important to understand that the output we get will always be defaulted to of string types. So whenever you enter a number, it won't immediately register as an integer. So what we're going to be doing is what we've done in our past tutorial is where you're going to be utilizing type conversions. So right here, whatever input was given, it's going to automatically convert to an integer so that we can do some adding to it and return back our sum. So let's go ahead and do this program, and we'll say 2 plus 3, and we're getting 5 back. So you can see it works. So now that you guys are getting a couple of good applications on how to utilize them when they're strings and integers, I will challenge you guys now to first make I'm assuming you guys all know the Pythagorean theorem, so I'm going to challenge all of you guys to make a Pythagorean calculator. So go ahead and spend a couple of minutes trying to figure out that program. And I will give you guys a little bit of information. In order to do a square root in this program, you're going to have to import a package called math, and we'll go more into what packages are, but you're gonna have to go ahead and import the math package. And to do a square root, the syntax is math.square root. It's a function, and you simply enter your information in here, what value you want to square root. So once again, I recommend you guys go ahead and take a couple minutes to yourself and try to figure out this program, and I'll be waiting for you guys to come back. Okay, thank you. Okay, so by now I'm assuming you guys have cracked out this program like the master programmers you are, but if you haven't, or you just want to double check your work, I will now be going through how exactly to make our Pythagorean calculator. So let me begin. Okay, so I've completed the challenge right here, and you can see once again I'm utilizing the import math package, and what I'm first doing is simply telling our user what this program is going to be about, and then I'm asking two simple questions. Enter the value of side A and enter the value of side B. Now using those two sides, what I'm simply doing is doing the Pythagorean theorem right here, where we have our a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So I'm simply saying square root of a squared plus b squared, which will give us our c squared side, our hypotenuse. And I'm simply going to be printing out the length of the hypotenuse. So you can see right here our program. So let me enter side A, that's 5, and side B is 4, and you can see I'm getting 6.4. It might be easier to test with the Pythagorean triple, so let me go ahead and do that. 3 and 4, and you will obviously get 5 as your length of hypotenuse. So before we leave for this tutorial today, I'm going to give you guys one last challenge, and we're not going to be completing it in class. I think that would be too long of a tutorial, but I do recommend you guys to try out this program. It will really test out all of your skills that you've done so far, such as type conversion and user input and output, as well as learning about your operators and your variables. So I do recommend you make this mortgage calculator. I've given you the formula to do this mortgage calculator right here, and that's just a little house to give you guys the mood of a mortgage calculator. So I do recommend you guys go ahead and try that out, and I will be linking my solution in the description of the video below. So I thank you for watching this video, and I will be sure to add more tutorials soon. Thank you. Bye.